Alright guys, welcome back to another Complexity Cast presentation. I'm your casting host Beat, bringing you Game 3 in this best of 3 series, the rubber match. Who's going to be going on in Diamond and who's done for this cycle? We'll find out right here. One Trick Ponies looked phenomenal in the last game, but will they be able to do it again as QsQ looked dominant in the first game? It's going to come all down to this. Now, I was, in fact, booted out of the match by some kind of glitch, so I didn't catch who banned what, but it appears both teams banned one hero the same, and I would assume that hero is Wild Soul. And I'm going to take a shot in the dark here and say that Wild Soul, Keeper of the Forest, was banned by One Trick Pony. The last 4 games that I've casted them, that's what their heroes were banned, which would mean that Wild Soul Warbeast was banned by QsQ. And that would make sense, but guys, that is what I'm going to go with. Either way, those 3 heroes are out of the pool. Into the locks we go. First lock coming out by Strucefooter is Bubbles. So, of course, very, very strong suicide hero, initiation, counter initiation, CC, mobility, escape mechanisms. He's got it all. He's the slippery turtle. Followed immediately by Nova. He's going to pick up the Pharaoh and Glacius. Worked out very, very well in the last game. No, it didn't. Yeah, it did actually. As Pharaoh was being played by Strucefooter last game in that mid lane. The game before that, Pharaoh worked out for Yonasan. So, Pharaoh's on a winning streak right here, and we'll see which team picks him up. Glacius, of course, Nova's favorite support, the strongest support. Well, not strongest, but a strong support. And complementing that one, Engineer and Aluna both make it into the lock pool. So last time, we saw a lot of supports getting banned. This time we see a lot of supports in the lock pool. And once again, zero jungles in the lock pool. So very, very interesting. Rounding it out, another one of the suicide heroes, Hag, is actually going to be in there. So we'll see which one of the teams might choose to pick up the wretched old bat herself. Going into the banning phase, bans out of Strucefooter, Parasite, Zephyr, and Pebbles. So, pretty standard there, to be honest. I mean, Parasite, of course, a very, very aggressive jungling hero. One that people just do not like to deal with. He's very good at shutting down other junglers as well. And so he just gets the ban all the time. That face hug ability is so strong. He's able to just burst heroes down, get those quick picks, and be on out of there. On the other side, those Zephyr, Pebbles, 2 heroes that can snowball quite hard. We saw Pebbles in that last game, was being played by Fuzzy, and looked extremely, extremely strong in that offensive tri-lane. Not able to get the first blood, but after that, you can make damn sure that he got every single kill, landing combo after combo with that 9-minute portal key, all the way up to like 7 and 0 and 9 or something. I actually want to take a look right there and see. I don't think I can, actually. Dang. But in that last game, he, of course, was absolutely dominant on that Pebbles. Not going to be used this time, though. The rest of the bans on the other side, Silhouette, Ophelia, and Fade banned out for Nova. Silhouette was played in the last game by... who was that on the Silhouette? I think it was Zibby on the Silhouette short lane. Yeah, short lane Silhouette last game, but not this time. They're going to ban out that strongest of ranged agi carries, Ophelia and Fade, 2 very aggressive junglers as well. Or excuse me, 2 very aggressive heroes, a jungler and a point type hero in the mid lane. Of course, Fade with her ability to really control the map using that reflection ability. And maybe even picking up something like a Bound Eye to do a lot of counter warding later on in the game. A hero that most teams just do not want to have to deal with this at this point. You know, Ophelia, of course, a strong, aggressive, and push-oriented jungler. Going to be banned out. Already getting into the picks, though. First pick comes out is Meraxis. Going to be seeing him for the 3rd time. Last time it was played by QsQ, and I do believe then that Meraxis has been on the losing team each time. I know that he was last time his style was playing him, and before that it was Fuzzy. So, yeah, he's been on the losing team both times. A little bit interesting. Maybe he's cursed. But One Trick Pony picks him up. The response, Bombardier coming out as well as Dark Lady. So Dark Lady, one of the strongest carries in the game, bar none. Absolutely phenomenal hero. And QsQ picks him up. Nox, one of his favorite heroes for sure. They're going to pick up Voodoo Jester as well. So that's Nova's hero of choice. Going to bring that one into the support. On the other side, though, Behemoth as well as Flux making it in. So two heroes that we don't see too often. Behemoth made it work last time. Flux, I mean, I've seen him actually picked or banned in 5 games in the last 7 or 8 games that I've cast. So very, very interesting seeing him come back in. I've seen him played in the mid role. I've seen him played in the suicide as well. So we'll see which of those he chooses to do. But the picks are finishing up here. First lock pick coming out is in fact Engineer for One Trick Pony. On the other side, QsQ does grab that Pharaoh as well as a Luna. So they're going to be using Yonosum Fan on that Suicide Pharaoh once again. And rounding it out with a Hag. Going to be going to Strucefitter. So he's going to play that Suicide role once again, perhaps. But One Trick Pony going into this game again with no jungler. So they're going to run some kind of an offensive lineup. If we actually take a look right here. Could be Meraxis, Engineer, Flux, Behemoth, and then a Wretched Hag in possibly a short lane. Right now it's appearing that Engineer is going to take top lane along with Meraxis. Wretched Hag could be going bottom or could be going mid. We'll see. And then Behemoth probably going to be doing a lot of roaming, and especially with that Flux going to be hanging out with him. Nova making his way toward the top lane along with the rest of the QsQ team for right now. Okay, this time I'm correct. No junglers in this game. Very, very interesting. And we could actually see a tri-lane coming out here for the Stark Lady. So, I mean, QsQ might be saying, you know, if you've got your tri-lane going on, we're just going to do our tri-lane as well. And we'll have to see if that does in fact happen. Would expect possibly a Suicide Pharaoh, tri-lane short with a Bombardier solo mid. That's what I'm calling right here based on the heroes and players. Male on the Aluna, their typical jungler. Also a secondary support player. Nova, hard support. Yeah, they're going to be going with Dark Lady. Bombardier is going to be hanging out in the mid lane, going up maybe 1v1 against Hag. In that situation, Bombardier should have a pretty good time there with his ability to land those sticky bombs, the boom dusts. It's a pretty strong hero against that Wretched Hag, and I think he should feel comfortable with that matchup. The top lane, if they do choose to go dual lane, then they might have a rough time against the defensive tri-lane that is Voodoo Jester and Aluna along with the Dark Lady. So we'll see if they do run just 2 or if they might rotate the Behemoth up there and put Fusey in the short lane solo position. Strucefitter on the Hag. He's going to go mid. I say that he's going to go mid, but he might go bottom. If he goes bottom, he's going to have a much better time against that Pharaoh than he... Well, not even necessarily a much better time. He might have a better time against the Pharaoh than he would against that Bombardier mid. But, I mean, we also saw Yonosum Fan versus Hag, I believe, being played by Strucefitter in the first game. And Yonosum Fan did very well until the first gank did, in fact, come in by Tempest. And being that there is no Tempest in this game, no junglers at all, it's going to be Hag on Pharaoh, and Pharaoh's got a great attack animation. He's got his innate tankiness, and of course he's got his defensive mechanisms as well as probably a pretty early hatchet down there, so Yonosum Fan should be able to hold his own, but we'll have to see. Guys, I'm actually going to go grab another drink really quick while we're still on the pause. I'm going to go ahead and hit it on the style right here, so we're going to follow him on out if for some reason it does not or if it does unpause really quickly, but I will be right back in about 30 seconds. Good old water, nice and cold, fresh from the fridge there. Gonna have to make some tea in between the series here. It's actually I might not actually have time. We are now an hour away from the second set of games today. Gary Johnson, of course, going to be taking on Fortune Bakery right here on Complexity Cast. Complexity will be taking on Trademark Esports in a grudge match over there on HoN Cast in about an hour. And that's going to be fantastic. I mean, I'm going to be sitting here casting Gary Johnson and Fortune Bakery, which is going to be an awesome game. But I wish I had two selves so I could watch Complexity and TDM once again. I mean, that's the match to look out for. That is the finals match from DreamHack. That is the third, fourth place match from HoN Tour qualifiers, where Complexity was shown to be mortal after not dropping a best of 3 in what seemed like 6 months. Trademark showed that, well, even God teams can bleed, and then they demonstrated it once again on LAN the following weekend. Will they be able to do it 3 weekends in a row? We'll have to see. Complexity is going to be broadcast over there on HoNcast, so make sure to check that one out, guys. Or if you want to watch Fortune Bakery and Gary Johnson see how Slicks is doing in his new home, you can tune on in right here. Both teams sending a large contingent of players up into this top lane. Engineer, Behemoth just kind of chilling up here. Pharaoh as well. Oh, I got to turn off this overlay. Haha! All right, I turned it off before the game actually went live this time, so I'm getting better. Yonason fan, for the time being, is in the short lane being babysat by Aluna as they send Dark Lady Voodoo Jester into the long lane. It's interesting how they're getting information using the Winged Courier and using the Ward of Sights that Nova's placed. They've been able to see where these players are, and they're making changes accordingly. So it looks like they might actually try to gank up on this engineer right here, as 5 players from QsQ are closing in from different angles. They might be in some serious trouble, as now the cask is going to come out. Power throw hitting both players. Sticky bomb applied to Behemoth right there. The keg comes out. The bomb detonated, though, and Architiger takes the first blood there on Behemoth as he does fall. Gives that one to Nox on the Dark Lady. That's going to kickstart Dark Lady's farm quite a bit. Bombardier is in the middle lane now, as Aluna Pharaoh is going to rotate bottom, and the Wretched Hag Suicide's top. Looks like they're going to have Engineer Meraxis mid. Behemoth is going to be roaming, currently going mid, but we'll see if he chooses to stay there or possibly go help out Wretched Hag up top. Probably wants to set up a kill. Bombardier's a relatively easy hero to kill. No escape mechanisms, no instant stuns or slows at this point. So they're going to try to set up a kill on that one, but not quite going to happen. Nova doing a good job of getting a little bit of harass going out right there, and a Tainted Soul as well. The Fissure actually missing down there. So Architiger already giving up first blood, and then the missed Fissure, so the botched hero kill setup there in mid. Having a bit of a rough time. Fusey down in this overlay. Down in this overlay. Oh my god. That's what I get for reading chat while I'm changing the screen. The overlay is off, guys. Of course, it's a 6-minute delay. But you guys will hear this in 6 minutes and be like, okay, he already changed it. Flux down here in the bottom lane is doing all right, actually. I mean, he's got pretty good attack animation. He's got good base damage with those crushing claws that all Flux players seem to bring to the lane with them. Hitting for 66 to 69 now at level 3. So he's doing relatively well down there with his 5 and 3 CS, better than some solo shorts might. A power thrower comes out right there, revealing the Flux off to the side. I'm not quite sure if they saw the Behemoth, but it looks like by the way that Aluna and Pharaoh are playing pretty far back there, they know that something fishy might be up. It's Truefooter up here, trying to get something done, getting the experience that he can. Nox making sure to deny as much as possible, so that even though the Wretched Hag is probably up here, which Nova will confirm now, that Wretched Hag won't get as much experience as he might otherwise. Meraxis has actually taken a ton of damage in this game so far. 22% of the damage in the game. Actually, that's a level 2 sticky bomb. Meraxis is going to take a lot more damage. Probably going to be down to 50 or so health here as soon as that one goes off. And no, he's at 150, so actually not taking as much damage there, as he's a pretty tanky dude. It's kind of interesting. It's been a long time since I've seen a game without a jungle. And very, very interesting to see the way that this 1-2-2 setup is working for both of these teams. 2-1-2 on the other side for QsQ, of course. A Fissure going to be going out right there. trying to maybe set something up, but Archer Tiger not quite able to land the block. Pharaoh walks in right there. The surge as well as the release being used. And to make sure that I was calling those the correct names. I'm learning the new names for this hero. Heroes that we don't see too often, of course. You have to learn all those skills. There's now, what, 400 different skills in the game? Something like that. With over 100 heroes. There's more than 400 skills. There's probably close to 500 or 600 skills in this game now. So you got to learn them all. Like Ash Ketchum, except I'm a caster. Flux keeping busy down here, trying to get as much CS, and he's who I really want to watch at this point. I want to see this hero be successful. I saw him in one game TDM yesterday against One Trick Ponies, actually. Did manage to make him work. I believe that he was being played by Limp. I want to say Limp being babysat by Insania mid lane is what I want to say. Engineer, that's an illusion, so not too much to be worried about right there. Nox is coming in. A nice arcane shield right there from Meraxis, though. Blocks the stun and actually even gets a little bit of a boost in damage and speed as a result of that block. Behemoth comes in. He wants to drop the Fissure, but been revealed just a little bit too soon. Aluna was able to back off in time. Wretched Hag still trying to get something done up here. Nova checking all the usual hiding spots for the usual suspects, but not quite able to find Hag for the time being. Nice job from Nox using that hatchet of his to actually cut down the trees so that they can find the heroes. Bombardier kills the turret right there. I believe that gives bounty now, but I don't think he actually got the last hit. I think it actually expired right there. So once you have enough attack speed to kill that turret very quickly, then of course you do get that bounty. I believe that was changed quite some time ago, but not 100% positive. Wretched Hag using that flash of darkness to blink back and forth and trying to get as much experience as she can. Flux manages to pick up boots as well as the Mystic Vestments. He's got his coat on now. Engineer has rotated down here as well. So they've left Meraxis to solo mid against this Bombardier for the time being. That bottle has been picked up, so he's going to start trying to camp runes. The Flying Courier is now in position here. So Wretched Hag is going to have a lot harder of a time as she is stuck, and she is most likely going to fall here. Level 1 Cursed Ground, but she does not have a blink for quite some time. Dark Blade's being activated, and yeah, it looks like Nox is going to pick up, Nova picks up that kill with the Cursed Ground, so you know, getting a little bit of farm onto those support heroes, never a bad thing. But QsQ looking absolutely fantastic here. One Trick Pony might have caught him off guard in that last game, but now nearly 2,000 gold up at only 6 minutes into this game, as well as 700 experience advantage. QsQ's looking pretty good. A sticky bomb going out right there onto the Engineer. One stack of boom dust being applied as well. Now they're going to try to turn around. Oh, no! Style actually gets the kill right there as Pharaoh comes to the rescue. Emerald Lightning being applied. Will he be able to get the wall of mummies off? Not for the time being. Aluna going to go down as the Sonar Scream actually catches him. Meraxis is trying to get in for the kill, but it looks like Bombardier trying to feed to this Kongor. Will they be able to get it before Kong does? No, Style actually does go down to the big monkey. As Kongor hits hard when you're only level 5, but doing about 20% of Styles' life right there with each hit. Quite a bit of damage. Meraxis and Engineer make their way back toward the middle lane, so that was a nice job getting 1-for-1 exchange and then getting Style to suicide to Conquer. Buying a little bit more farm for Meraxis here in the middle lane, as they're actually going to be diving. The two axes miss. One does connect right there. A Fisher going to be coming out. Archer Tiger might have actually even saved Bombardier for a little bit longer. Meraxis activates that Matrix. The Cursed Ground being applied once again. And it looks like Bombardier actually managed to S2 through some trees. The Flux ultimate comes out, and now he's been revealed once again, but he already managed to get the potion up. Nova going to fall right here. The Hellfire not going to be enough to save him, and it looks like Meraxis is in some trouble as Zibby's trying to get his juke and jive on. The Tormented Soul being activated, and Bombardier trying to chase him down. And will the Sticky Bomb land? No, doesn't manage to finish that one up. So Archer Tiger not having the best game right now. He gave up first blood. He kind of failed a couple of ganks in a couple of different locations, and he actually saved style right there. There's no other way to put it. Now, there was a decent block right there. A nice turret as well, going to really, really get the block onto that Pharaoh. A great keg going to be coming out from Znui as well. And axes as well as auto attacks come out there for the Legion team. They clean up the kill onto that player. The cast comes out once again. That slow-moving projectile, easy to just tap that W, hit the arcane shield, and jet on out of there with the increased movement speed afforded to him by the activation of that spell. Flux in the bottom lane has just been kind of farming up as Aluna and Pharaoh have both been out of the lane for quite some time. Flux is doing his best down here at 293 GPM. He's the top farmer on the Legion team, picking up Steam Boots as well as selling one of his Crushing Claws there. Instead, going to be picking up a Scroll of Teleportation, that Mana Potion as well as the Health Potion being deactivated right there as a nice Tormented Soul came out of Pharaoh. Yonason fan says, screw that. Not going to let you get your potion off. Strucefutter is actually doing a little bit of jungling now. Says, I'm not going to actually get anything done up there. And Nox, I mean, One Trick Pony, they're doing well in these other lanes. They've got a 3 and 4 creeps, hero kill score. Magnetic Surge as well, release going to be coming in right here. The Fissure from Architecture. He's trying to set up a block. He gets a good angle right there. The Wall of Mummies will be going up momentarily. No! Actually, the turnaround is the Wall of Mummies do go up, but they block Flux off for the time being. The Curse Crown as well as the Airstrike should be enough for Flux to actually go down, and there he is. He tried to pull everybody in at the same time as using that ultimate so that they did cut the trees and the trees respawned immediately. But no, the Wrath of the Pharaoh was all that it took to get the kill. And get the kill they did. Flux falls for the first time in this game. And it's looking really rough for One Trick Pony. They're managing their own in the bottom and the middle lanes. But Nox is doing his thing. 440 GPM so far in this game. If we take a look at the CS, 78 and 52 at 10 minutes into this game. I don't know if this is perfect in terms of creep kills, but if it's not perfect, he's like 1 or 2 creep kills away from perfect. He is farming out of his mind in that top lane. Ghost Marchers, Sustainer already finished. Going to be picking up those broadswords, has money for one, and that might actually be money for both of them. As it's 10 minutes into this game, he actually probably has that Rune Cleaver finished. We'll see if he does pick that up relatively soon here. Going for Ring of the Teacher as well as the Ghost Marchers before the Rune Cleaver. So it might be a little bit delayed. He might not already have that one, but we'll see as the courier is making its way back to town relatively soon here. Nox is just out of control big in this game, and unless One Trick Pony is able to address that one relatively soon, they're going to be in some trouble. But speaking of trouble, Yonason fan in a little bit of trouble, but a nice cast can be coming out right there. The Wall of Mummies goes up. The Curse Crown is there as well. Dodges that keg. The Magnetic Surge might be coming out. The Wrath of the Pharaoh misses right there, but it looks like Flux is going to have to turn around. He's a tanky guy, but not that tanky, as he's going to survive right now by the skin of his teeth. The Airstrike is available in about 24 seconds. So if he does not make it to town by then, will Bombardier try to snipe him out with it? Looks like Flux should be safely in town as he's actually been teleported back already. Now, nothing on the courier just yet as he picks up the hero kill up there. He's going to turn his attention to Meraxes with those Dark Blades. The Flux might have actually just saved him. Nox is in a little bit of trouble right now. He's going to need to man up, but he can't. Meraxes gets the kill right there. That was extremely well played by the Legion team right there. The Flux ultimate was used to try to get that one down. A nice Fissure trying to save the Engineer, but he wasn't going to be able to squeeze up that path. They were trying to block him off, but he actually pathed backward right there so that they were able to get another auto attack. The Fissures from Architiger just have not been what he needs in this game. But the Flux ultimate, going back to that one, the Flux ultimate does not cancel TPs. I'm like 99% sure that it does not cancel TPs. Okay, no, now I remember what it was. Dark Lady activated the Dark Blades, and she was about to man up on Meraxes, but Meraxes simply just needed to survive until those Dark Blades were down. And so Flux actually activated that ultimate to gain the distance from Dark Lady that Meraxes needed, and once that was down, activated the Matrax, came in for the stomp. detonated the Matrax and got the kill. So very well played there by One Trick Pony. Great coordination between Fuzzy and Zibby at that point. Flux is continuing to do his best to farm down here. Zibby is actually taking over top farm in the game, but I mean, if you look at his items, it's just not a whole lot to talk of. He's got Ghost Marches, he's got Power Supply and a bottle and 1,400 gold. Going to be working on that portal key relatively soon, but when the Dark Lady on your other team is farming 440 GPM right now, when she's level 10, it's simply not enough. Dark Lady going to go in on Wretched Hag right here. Doesn't even need the assistance of Nova. The cast certainly helps, but the Taint Soul, level 4, as well as those level 4 Dark Blades, just absolutely crushing Wretched Hag. Mirax is in a little bit of trouble, but he turns around and mans up, activates the Matrax, but going to retreat for the time being. Voodoo Jester is above them right there. And it looks like Archer Tiger just expressing a little bit of puzzlement. Not quite sure what he might have been confused upon. Maybe another fissure that didn't quite go his way. Who knows? Jonas and Fan a little bit of trouble, though, as the turret does come out, gets the slow on him. The keg hitting Aluna, who's now going to be initiated on by the Miraxis. The Arcane Shield activated once again, and Aluna is going to be going down there, but Miraxis pays for it. Behemoth and Engineer, both of them without boots. No, Behemoth actually has boots. A nice keg right there. Pushes Bombardier forward instead of backward, but still the stun important. Flux with another nice ultimate right there. Engineer trying to get out of there, maybe so that they don't see him. Going to activate that mana potion. We'll see if they do check this hidey hole. Bombardier check the hidey hole. They know that that's there, but no. Engineer is going to survive for the time being. He's probably going to wait until he has enough mana to TP on out of there, unless he has the balls to really get over there. Snotters, in fact, do spot him out, as he's not just that good at playing hide-and-go-seek. Only good enough to fool QsQ. Not good enough to fool the Snotters, who are the almighty in the jungle. Pharaoh, Jonas and Fana on that suicide roll, finishes up his Helm of the Black Legion. So, already, Pharaoh at 250 GPM. That's more farm than you really see on your suicides. But I guess it wasn't a suicide, actually. Aluna was down there with him, so that explains why he was able to get a little bit stronger farm than you might have seen otherwise, and they were, of course, against that Flux solo. Pharaoh might be in a little bit of trouble, tanky as he is. They try to turn it around here with a couple of TPs in. Engineer, Flux, and Behemoth going to team up with Wretched Hag right here. Magnetic Surge comes in with a release, puts that heavy slow on. Slow compounded right there by the turret. Wrath of the Pharaoh coming out, as well as the Keg. And Keg does not hit Pharaoh. Engineer going to be in a little bit of trouble, but Pharaoh might be as well. Bat Blast comes out, finishes off Pharaoh. Curse Ground being applied onto Wretched Hag. She has to blink on out of there. A nice trap onto Nova, though, and he's going to fall as well. So it looks like it's going to be a little bit of a 2-for-2 exchange, as Miraxis didn't fall to Style, as well as Nox in that middle lane. Level 13 Dark Lady teaming up with the level 9 Bombardier here in the middle lane to take down Miraxis. Knocks his farm back down to only 240 GPM as opposed to the 292 that is now Flux's GPM, the top for the Legion team. But it pales in comparison. Nearly twice their net worth here. This Dark Lady is so out of control at this point. 2,400 gold saved up. We'll see if she picks up the Abyssal Skull that a lot of Dark Lady players are so fond of immediately after that Rune Dex. Does in fact go for a Firebrand. So going to provide, of course, an additional movement speed, more damage, and attack speed. Going to help out with farming just a little bit faster. And we'll see if it does get turned into something like a Geometer's Main or a Frostborn a little bit later. I would expect him to save off on upgrading that into one of those two items until he gets a couple more of the core items. Something like possibly a Shrunken Head or maybe something like an Abyssal Skull first. But eventually expect to see that one upgraded, as Dark Lady is just out of control farmed at this point. Style looking decently farmed himself. He's only at 235 GPM, but 4, 1, and 3 looking like he's got pretty good involvement. Ghost Marchers, a couple of Marks of the Novice, and that Major Totem, so he's going to be looking for a push stick that Bombardier players seem to like to use. Jonas and Fan, of course, does have that Helm of the Black Legion. Looks like Male on the Aluna working with Strider's power supply. Jonas and Fan picks up an Apprentice Robe, so he could be going for a Barbed Armor or simply using that to upgrade his Steam Boots. I think that he might be using that to get an early Barbed Armor, though. That would be very useful against this Legion team, Yonason fan trying to set up something here. We'll see if he blasts off a Tormented Soul or not. He's actually going to walk right by the Behemoth, who does spot him right there. And Pharaoh actually spotted as well. Blue Jester going to be coming in here. Portal Key being picked up by Flux and used right there. Wrath of the Pharaoh comes out, catching 2 players, and in comes the airstrike inside of the wall. Mummy's right there. The power throw actually finishes off Archer Tiger on the Behemoth. Nox at the same time takes down the Tier 2 tower in the top lane. Might even start working on Tier 3 now. Content to retreat. TPing on out of there for the time being toward this middle lane. Going to work on all these creeps. Save that middle tower as well as the rest of his team buys time so that he can keep on farming. Yonason fan does have the money to finish off those steam boots now, and since he has not gone and picked up the Gloves of the Swift from the outpost over here, I would be led to believe that he is in fact going for a barbed armor, which I already pointed out. I think it would be a fantastic item. Flux, of course, sporting his new portal key. He activates the int treads right there. Wants to have maximum mana because he goes in, uses the discharge right there. In comes the portal key from Meraxis as well. And two players going to be picked off right here. A nice gank setup from One Trick Pony. And they're down, but they are certainly not out. With double portal key pickups, they're going to be able to set up a lot of hero kills, even showing that the tanky nature of Pharaoh was not enough to save him at that point from the 4 players. Actually, was that even 5? No, there's 5 players down here, but in fact, looks like Teal, that was Behemoth. Archer Tiger did not manage to get his hand in the pot for that kill. Not going to take home any extra gold for the assists. Archer Tiger just kind of sitting on Striders and Mana Potions right now. Has not had a great game. 90 GPM, 0, 2, and 4. It's not the worst game ever, for sure, but he's looking for more on that Behemoth. You can say that for certain. Shoes Footer on that Wretched Hag, sitting at 145 GPM in that suicide lane. She's doing her best, but her best simply is not enough at this point. Wrath of the Pharaoh going to be coming in. We'll see if the Fissure. Fissure does go down, turning around with the Matrax with the Sticky Bombs already activated. The cask actually goes off this time. The Curse Crown does miss, though. Wretched Hag comes in, applying the haunt onto Pharaoh, but down goes Meraxis. The auto attacks from Yonason fan, as well as the Hellfire, are going to be enough for the time being. Invisible Engineer is here, though, and he might want to drop the energy field. Down it goes. He will be able to set up a kill onto... Oh, a huge release going to be coming out right there. The discharge from Flux pulls them all in, and it looks like One Trick Pony shows that they are very much so still in this game. Taking down 4 players for only the Meraxis at that point. A huge Flux Engineer combo right there was, in fact, able to set up a gigantic quad kill for the team. They might be getting themselves back in this. I mean, you have to keep in mind, though, Dark Lady still continuing to farm at absurdly high rates. 295 GPM right now. Going to be breaking that 600 GPM mark very soon here. Already finished up that Frostburn as well as the Abyssal Skull. Look for something like a Shrunken Head next, and then maybe even something like a Savage Mace to finish her out. And if you're talking about an item capped Dark Lady at 30-35 minutes into this game, the other team's going to have some Sheeps or some Hellflowers or something to keep this girl down, because she will get in there and she will tear your freaking head off. Dark Lady going to team up with a Luna up here. Deja Vu activated to get in there. Sprints down the Emerald Lightning as well. Power Throw cleans it up. Male brings home the kill with the assist from Nox. And even Flux, his tanky self at 1400 HP, just crumbles under the weight of those heavy Dark Blades. Dark Lady showing that she is absolutely brutal. In comes Nox. Wants to land a couple of axes, but TP's already coming in. Male is there. The Sticky Bomb has been activated, and Meraxis might be in a little bit of trouble here as they apply some more pressure, and Nox comes in and just absolutely obliterates him. But the Bat Blast going to be coming in as well. Nova drops his Bound Eye in the background. The ultimate activated there by Archer Tiger, and Bombardier is going to die too. A little bit of a Sonar Scream. Nox misses that Charging Strikes for the time being. The Bound Eye actually killed by Archer Tiger with his dying breath. So a nice job being able to effectively deny that item to the other team. But what a team fight right there. Nox looking absolutely unstoppable. 646 GPM, cleaning up heroes left, right. He was able to almost two-shot that engineer there in that fight. I mean, oh, he is a scary looking guy right now. Goes in and immediately just cleans up on these Ancients. Says, I ain't afraid of no ghosts, and especially no Predator Crushers. QsQ finds himself in a 10,000 gold lead at this point. 8,000 experience lead, so not insurmountable by any means. But when all of that gold is on a ridiculously farmed Dark Lady who has a double damage now. So they're going to go take Kongor. Because that's what you do when you have a double damage level 18 Dark Lady at 23 minutes into the game. A Dark Lady who's hitting for... let's activate the Dark Blades in a second here. Let's wait to see what that is. But it's going to be something close to like 450, 500 damage. Actually not activating the Dark Blades. Doesn't even need them. Says, hey, Kongor Schmongor. The Sticky Bomb activated once again. The Legion team wants to make something happen. But Dark Lady picks up that Aegis of Life. Bombardment coming out onto Engineer right there. The energy field had to be used, but the Wrath of the Pharaoh comes in. In comes a little bit of a turret. Dark Lady walks through the energy field, but doesn't even care. The Fissure not enough to save Znui, as he does fall to style with the assistance of Nox and Yonisum Fan. Dark Lady is on absolute fire right now at 650 GPM. QsQ looking extremely strong, and I don't know that there's any... That's so rough. There's any recovery. Dark Lady even going in to steal a triple stack and a double stack, knowing that with that Aegis of Life, she's able to so comfortably farm the enemy jungle. 4,000 gold saved up on her. Going to be looking for possibly that Shrunken Head, which she could right-click at this point. Just point of reference. She can right-click a Shrunken Head, in addition to all of her other items. 24 GPM. Or, excuse me, 24 minutes in, Nox grabs another tower right there. Meraxis is teaming up with two other players here. The portal keys might come out if they do spy Nova, which they do right here. Meraxis catches him with a Quake. Meraxis is going to be coming in, a nice Fissure to finish him off. And looks like Meraxis takes that one home. Nox has TP'd in, though. Will he be getting into this team fight? He doesn't have a ton of mana. Actually, he does have actually a good amount of mana. With that Runed Cleaver, as well as the Abyssal Skull, he's got all the mana regen that he needs, so he's not too worried. Top lane, Bomber trying to get kill onto Hag right here, but missing absolutely everything. The Bombardment, the Sticky Bomb, and the Airstrike all miss. Yonisum Fan tangling with the Meraxis now, as Bombardier joins up with his Pharaoh brother here. The Hellborn team making their way toward the top lane. Not quite sure why. They've still got a mid tower to push, but it looks like they might want to take Rax, feeling safe with that token. Oh man, it seems like there's been a ton of action in this game. Let's go over a couple of items. Flux working on that Hellflower now finds himself only about 1,000 gold off of that one. Behemoth trying to save up for that portal key, about 800 gold off. Hag sitting on those Steam Boots and one Arcana. Going to be about, let's do some quick math, about 2,500 gold off of her Hellflower. So look for that when, well, if the game goes that long in about another 10 minutes or so, we'll see. Engineer doing his ward thing. He's a poverty engineer, though, right now, as he's only at 134 GPM. He's going to need some welfare or something, because he's sitting on nothing but Striders and a power supply. Surprised he even has a power supply if he's doing his ward thing. On the other side of things, well, actually, Meraxis, of course, with his own portal key as well as Ghost Marchers, he's getting the job done, getting in there, getting out of there with his hero kills. Nova, he's doing his Voodoo Jester thing as well, getting those wards up as we see him in position to maybe take another ward, but nope, not just yet. Oh, just kidding. So, Dark Lady sold her hatchet, or more accurately, dropped her hatchet on the ground and said, I might want to replace this with a slightly more effective item, and right-clicks a Demonic. So, that's a thing. She's got another double damage. 25 seconds left on that one. You know, she just cleans up Ancients like they're Snotters, pretty much. That's what they look like. Behemoth picks up his portal key. Oh, man. Bombardier finished his Tablet of Command. He's going to be working on his next item. I see that 1,900 gold saved up. Double damage. Dark Lady takes down that tower like he's just kicking a stick in the mud. Flux might be in a little bit of trouble here as his portal key is on cooldown, but no. Dark Lady turns her attention elsewhere. Pharaoh finishes up his Steam Boots, did not go for that barbed armor route, instead choosing to pick up an Arcana. That's what he was using that Robes of the Apprentice for, or to finish up his Steam Boots. He needs lots of Robes of the Apprentice. That's the moral of the story here with this Pharaoh. Aluna picks up her own Tablet of Command, so Malay going to be able to join Bombardier in a concert of pushes. And push is actually what the Hellborn team looks to be doing right now, as they are barreling down the bottom lane. This defensive tower at 1,600 health, but that is not of consequence to the Dark Lady, who is just cleaning up creep wave after creep wave. 723 GPM currently on this Dark Lady. Absolutely out of control. She's going to go in and just kill this tower. Like, she doesn't care about creeps or her team or the other team. She just says, this is a tower. It's alive. It's not going to be alive anymore. The tower does fall right here. Nox going to get credit for the kill. Actually, Hellborn gets credit for that kill. And the Legion team falling back very quickly. Engineer is invis once again, but no, they have a bound eye. So the Wrath of the Pharaoh, no, actually, they just... That was a very, very lucky Wrath of the Pharaoh. The energy field goes down as well as the Bat Blast. The Behemoth comes in with an ultimate as well. Nox is leading the front lines, absolutely shredding Dark Lady. And, oh, gosh. Everyone is dying. Nox just cleans up the enemy team. Flux and Miraxis with both their portal keys and tanky natures might want to clean something up. The Hellflower is finished up here for Flux, so they might be able to take down the Dark Lady. But they need to do it twice. She's got the Token of Life, and they still have all the people back here. Double initiation right there. Dark Lady going to fall for the first time. Wretched Hag buys back. They want to be able to get the kill. But Wretched Hag just gets obliterated. Dark Lady doesn't even care. She's not even going to die the first time. She kills everybody. Absolutely everyone, as Nox goes up to nearly 800 GPM right now. Out of his mind. He's out of his mind. And One Trick Pony, I mean, they're done. There's no other way to put it. Dark Lady might actually just dive the well right here. Actually, she's going to die. The Aegis of Life is going to be activated, and I think that's what she wanted. She wanted to get that health back, and... hey, look at this experience per minute chart. Look at it. 940. He just two-shot the engineer. Well, no. They're doing their best. Now, there we go. He two-shot the engineer. Dark Lady's actually relatively low on life, and Hag's going to be back up in 1 second. Two-shot the Behemoth. Hag is back up. Will she be dumb enough to actually blink into this Dark Lady? And will Domain of Pain, One Trick Pony actually give Dark Lady the Immortal? We'll see. Miraxis is coming back in. It's 30 minutes into this game, guys, and this Dark Lady is almost level 25. Like, this is the most farmed Dark Lady I have ever seen. Hands down. I've seen some preposterously farmed heroes in my day. I mean, you talk about some old school, say, Busca, Mage Banes, who has gotten higher GPM than this. But this Dark Lady is preposterously farmed. Right-click to Shrunken Head right there. Getting rid of that pesky Aegis of Life. Going to be able to use that one in any upcoming team fights. Kongor, of course, will be back up in about another 4 minutes or so. Would not be surprised to see Dark Lady go two-shot that guy too, because she's so fond of two-shotting people. She actually sells her phase boots, or her phase boots, Ghost Marchers right there. Picks up those TPs. So Dark Lady's item capped. Like, literally, they're item capped. She might sell that Frostburn, pick up something like a Symbol of Rage at some point, and then sell the Abyssal Skull and pick up a Savage Mace. I mean, maybe a Wing Bow. But that's really, like, those are the only two item choices that she can drop. And already, those are two great items. QsQ is so preposterously farmed right now. Their support Aluna just picked up post haste. So they know that they are going in for the kill. And those are items that you go into the kill with. Mummy Wall right there as QsQ is just trolling each other. They're celebrating a little bit as they know this game is all but over. They've got to do nothing but go in there and turn the key to seal the fate of One Trick Ponies. But One Trick Pony says, you know what? We may be down, but we're not going down without a fight. As they're standing outside of their base right here, perhaps not so wisely standing outside of their base, but they want to make something happen. The Engineer wants to get that energy field off, and this is it, guys. Wrath of the Pharaoh comes in, targeting down the Engineer. The Engineer drops immediately. Fissure going to be coming in, but Dark Lady just activates that Shrunken Head, cuts down the defensive tower in no time flat. Now going to turn his attention toward the melee racks, but actually going to wait for the creeps, saying, okay, guys, we're going to give you a little bit of reprieve. Engineers up in 30 seconds again. We can do that again. Not a problem. Ultimate being activated there by Dark Lady. Charging strikes as well as Dark Blade's activated. And by the time that ultimate's over, the Baylarax are going to die. In comes Behemoth. He actually drops a big ultimate onto Dark Lady right there. as no shrunken heads available. Charging strikes on out of there. A good curse. And the flux discharge as well as the release going to be coming in right there. Voodoo Jester able to get out of the way. The mummy wall being put up. Sticky bomb onto Meraxis. And both teams really kind of standing back. Oh, okay. That was a one-shot onto Wretched Hag right there. Turns his attention toward this Meraxis. A nice Quake going to be able to keep himself safe for the time being. In comes the Warstomper. He might actually be able to lock down the Dark Lady. He turns it around. He one-shots Behemoth. He one-shots Flux. And Nox is just absolutely on fire. He is on a bloodbath right now. One more kill is all that it's going to take for the Immortal. Will they give it to him? Engineer is that kill. GG, well played. Come out. Nox, dive the well. Dive it. Defeat comes out, but Nox, come on. Dive the... No! He disconnects from the game right there. I wanted the Immortal to come out so badly, but QsQ takes that game. You know, it was looking pretty decent, but then you remembered the Dark Lady. 831 GPM, nearly 1,000 experience per minute, level 25 at 31 minutes into the game. QsQ, Nox, they played fantastic, and they're going to be moving on here from losers round 2. One Trick Pony, they looked fantastic, being able to take out Lions in the first round. Fell to Trademark. No shame in that one, as Trademark's going to be taking on Complexity very soon here. And now they did fall to QsQ as well, so their trip in Diamond is done for now. But they'll be back. The next cycle starts in just 2 weeks, so they'll be back at that time to really get back into it. But their time's done for now. QsQ moves on. We'll see who they're going to be facing. But guys, that is it for this one. Let's go ahead and get this score updated as QsQ takes that one home. 2-0, or 2-1, excuse me. That was a fantastic series. That was actually an absolutely fantastic series, guys. So thank you very much for joining me, guys. This has been Complexity Casting with me, your casting host, Beef. Huge shout out to Complexity Gaming for allowing me to put this on. Check out all of our HoN Tour coverage over at ComplexityGaming.com. Also on Facebook at Complexity Gaming and Twitter at Complexity Live. You can follow me on Twitter for all of your Complexity HoN needs. Anytime that I'm going to be going live to broadcast HoN Tour, anytime that I'm broadcasting Complexity Scrims, Monday through Thursday. You can check it out over at BeefPopBy1 on Twitter. Always live right here, twitch.tv/ComplexityHoN. And also a huge shout out to the sponsors of Complexity, QPad, PNY, Creative Sound Blaster, and Origin. Thank you, guys. We're going to be going to a quick break. 20 minutes from now, the next game will be starting. That's going to be Gary Johnson taking on Fortune Bakery. Should be an awesome series. And also make sure to check out Complexity taking on Trademark. That's going to be over at HoNcast. I will not blame you for going to watch that game. It's going to be epic, but so is Gary Johnson and Fortune Bakery. Winners bracket semifinals coming up next, guys. Stay tuned.